Reports have been made that the Dallas Cowboys are planning to release wide receiver Amari Cooper. And cutting Cooper, getting him off the roster, will save or free up $16 million in salary cap space this offseason. The new league year starts on my birthday, March 16th. And on March 20th, Amari Cooper is due to make $20 million fully guaranteed. So getting him off the roster saves him a ton of money. Remember, the Cowboys traded a first-round pick to get Amari Cooper from the Raiders in 2018. And it's debatable now that the Raiders won the trade because they used that pick to draft a stud starting safety, Jonathan Abram. Jonathan Abram still plays for the Raiders. Amari Cooper's already gone from the Cowboys, or at least so we believe. We will see if that actually does happen. I believe he will get released. Amari Cooper had over 1,000 yards receiving in 2018, again in 2019, and then again in 2020. Last year, he had a little bit of a drop-off. He had 68 catches for 865 yards and 8 touchdown catches. Despite the lower numbers last year, Amari Cooper is still a stud. The idea of having Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb as a tandem together on the same team, on the same receiving core, that's awesome. And Dallas letting him go is a big blow. So, number one, I'm very excited to see where does Amari Cooper go as a free agent. There's a lot of opportunity around the league. A lot of teams could use a number one receiver. That's exciting. That's interesting. But the more really interesting angle here to me is that the Cowboys are having salary cap problems. They can't pay everybody. And the most shameful, worst part about this is that they're paying Ezekiel Elliott, their running back, a ton of money. The salary cap hit next year for Ezekiel Elliott is over $18 million. Ugh. They're stuck with him, even though in today's NFL, a receiver is way more valuable than a running back. It's a bad contract. And you're overpaying a running back. It's not the 90s anymore. The game has changed. And it also doesn't help that they're, I think, a little bit overpaying their starting quarterback, Dak Prescott. They're giving him a ton of money. You could argue he's overpaid. I don't want to hear the anger about that. I don't really care. You got to pay your quarterback, whatever. But what's the problem in Dallas? Let's get to the root of the issue. Because what's keeping the Dallas Cowboys from a Super Bowl right now? The problem is and continues to be their owner, Jerry Jones. They have a Jerry Jones problem. His emotional decision-making, his refusal to hire a general manager, the fact that he hired a yes man as a head coach. There's that IQ meme where it's like 10 IQ, 100 IQ, 1,000 IQ. I would argue that 10 IQ is blaming Amari Cooper, 100 IQ is blaming the Ezekiel Elliott contract, and 1,000 IQ is realizing that Jerry Jones is the problem. He is the person who put the Cowboys in this situation. Let's say it. The Cowboys are letting a good player go, Amari Cooper. So letting good players go. They're overpaying other players who, a running back in today's NFL is not worth an $18 million salary cap hit. It's just, that's bad. That's terrible money management. They've got a coach I don't believe in. And from where the Cowboys are right now today, a Super Bowl feels a long, long way off. And unfortunately for them, if I was a Cowboys fan, I'd have a hard time supporting this team because right now, in my opinion, the problem is the owner is in the way of you winning a Super Bowl. And if you're a Cowboys fan that feels that way as well, I'd be like, man, I can't support this team until Jerry Jones is gone. Maybe Jerry Jones will change. Maybe he will someday hire a GM. I think hopefully in his old age, he'll get a little bit less controlling and give control to someone else, and he can actually hire a great head coach who can run stuff. Sean Payton's a dream hire someday, right? But you'd have to have a Jerry Jones as owner who's willing to give up a little more control and let Sean Payton run things his way. And I don't see that happening anytime soon. So I just want to repeat, the Cowboys have a Jerry Jones problem. And right now he's holding back their organization.